Hello, my name is Andres, and today I'd like to talk to you about the financial health of the BlackRock. I chose BlackRock because this is a tremendous company in terms of their economic significance. The asset turnover of the company is so gigantic, it manages basically every uh, significant company across the globe. And to begin with, we're gonna look at the profitability margins. The gross margin of 48% demonstrates that by the reduction of the cost of revenue, the company is still left with almost half from their revenue, thus making it possible for a company to finance whatever they need. The EBIT margin of 35.64% shows that after deducting the operating expenses, the company is still left with a big portion of revenue, and the net profit of margin means that after subtracting the interest and taxes, the company is still left with 24.4% of revenue, which is a great amount of assets that may allows company to solve every financial problem uh, without the need to create additional debt. The returns of the company may seem relatively low, like for example, return on asset of just 4.3%, especially for the financial company can seem not big enough. However, those ratios are a little bit misleading because of the nature of the company's income sheet and the balance sheet. So for the ROA specifically, the amount of assets in the company's possession is so huge it inevitably demonstrates the low final ratio. Again, the company is a asset management, so the amount of assets they possess is gigantic, and the ratio like return on capital equipped. Return on capital employed and return on equity because of those factors seem lower than they actually are in reality. And the cash flow margin demonstrates that there is still money from deducting the other cash flows, leaving company with the ability to pay off the dividends, paybacks, and other needs. The leverage ratios are demonstrating the conservative nature of the company. So the debt to equity of 0.23 represents that only 23% of the um, equity is filled with debt. Uh, this shows the very little debt and the company's abilities to operate without the need of one. The total assets to equity shows that the assets are three times larger than the equity, again due to the nature of the company. The debt to the capital of 8.5% shows that only 8.5% of capital is actually filled with debt. All the rest is equity itself. Again, meaning that the debt is very low and company has all their free cash flows in operations directly. Debt to EBITDA demonstrates that debt can be fully repaid with 1 year of having EBITDA, also meaning the great financial health in terms of leverage condition within the company. The liquidity ratios demonstrate that the company can pay off their short-term liabilities very fast. Thus, current ratio of 13.5 means that current assets are 13 times larger than current liabilities, thus having company with no worries of whether they are able to repay their uh, liabilities. The quick ratio is a ratio that adds some extra liquidity. So for this ratio, only cash and cash equivalents are being used. Uh, because of that, the ratio is a bit lower, but still, the company can pay off their short-term liabilities 12 times and still be left with some money in the pocket. The free cash flows to the firm of 8.1 billion guarantees that the company possesses just enough money to repay all their dividends from the stocks, as well as doing the necessary buybacks if those take place. So, in terms of liquidity, the company performs greatly. And lastly, the asset management ratios demonstrating the turnovers of assets and accounts. So the asset turnover of 0.15 may seem a little low, but again, this is mainly explained by the gigantic amount of asset that the company possesses. Uh, it shows that 15 cents will be generated from $1 of asset, but it is quite obvious because the company just takes a portion of fees from managing other companies' assets, and because there is so much of them, the company are left with a tremendous profit even without requiring big asset turnover. Uh, as I showed in the first slide, the profitability ratios demonstrate that this tiny asset turnover is still absolutely fine for the company to have all their money needed for paying short-term liabilities or the dividend payments. The accounts receivable turnover is less frequent than accounts payable, um, meaning that they pay receivables a bit more than they get a bit more than they pay for the accounts payables themselves. Thank you very much for your attention.